I'm from the same place as trap music. This that first react music. They can't hold me back. I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch this. My flow, I can't rush this. Put them on silence when I'm talking. You should hush, bitch. I am from the heavy base. My bro called a heavy case. Got a couple.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Tonight, we will be smoking on the word boycott. In American culture, the word boycott is often displayed through protests and social discourse. But what we want to find out tonight is if the word boycott is bad, good, or misunderstood. And before we do that, make sure to like and share the video. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. I am Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always with the God, Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm, and we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God.
Peace, God. What you dealing with?
Man, we don't just do it on Sundays, we do it every day.
Nah, it still count, God.
That's right.
We ain't got no understanding of none of these words. It counts every day.
Every day, right? All the time.
Hey, what we smoke? You said we smoking on boycott? That's interesting.
We smoking on boycott this evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. What you got into today? How was your Saturday?
Saturday was good. Got a lot of stuff. It was very productive. Very productive. Got a lot of stuff done. You know, got a lot of T's crossed and I's dotted.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. How about yourself, God?
Same. You know, I got a brand new rooster, you know, to get to jumpstart my girls. And you know, it's interesting because they started laying again, you know, not heavily but regularly. And
Okay.
I went out there today and my man was, you know, stepping on the head. I was like, all right. Let her know who boss, right? Like
Okay.
that's how they do it. Like, yeah, so after they mount, like part of they like if it took like the rooster will step on her head and keep it moving, and like she'll shake it all the way off. It's like a yeah, I did that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is definitely interesting. Chicken fucker. I couldn't pass it up, you know. I think it was a movie that they was going around saying that.
Oh my God.
One of them good movies, good old movies. But man, that is amazing. And that sounds like absolute progress. That's what you actually, you know, got the rooster for.
Facts.
You know, so everything is going perfectly planned.
Yeah, just gotta figure out a name for the god, and he ain't gotta worry about going into the hot grease for a while.
You got to worry about getting some herbs and spices wrapped around him. getting doused in hot sauce and dipped in honey mustard.
You know what I'm saying? You got one job.
Getting draped over rice. If you don't get it right, I'm gonna drape your ass over rice.
Look around and find out.
Chicken talk. That's what's up, God.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all. Tonight we are smoking on the word boycott. And in recent events we had, I guess yesterday was I think it was birthed by Reverend Al Sharpton. I saw a lot of I received a lot of text messages, and they had Reverend Al Sharpton's name attached to the boycott initiative that was supposed to go down for the African American community on March 28th. On February 28th. So I figured, we talk about the word, we talk about boycott, and since it's in the air, we can talk about that. Of course, what we do here is we always define the word, so we're going to get the actual definition of a boycott, and then we have 3 questions that we shape our conversation around. So we also are going to have that talk and do like we always do: exchange insights, have fun with it, and learn.
Yeah, God. Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing to what you said. Because typically when we hear Reverend Al Sharpton's name, we start thinking dismissive thoughts, him as an individual. But in my mind, the way this was organized, it was actually his organization, the National Action Network. So it was like a whole, thing, organized group of people that was supposed to be doing a thing. So it wasn't just like a one person spearheaded thing. It was actually like a real organized event.
Yeah,
Supposed.
that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you explained that for people, because some people see things and just think that they are. But I mean, that's how people are trained to think. Whoever is the name endorsed
Yeah.
is the only person. It was just their idea.
Yeah. When I think Reverend
Yeah.
Al Sharpton, I think hashtag. And I don't think an actual real thing that's happening. You know what I mean?
No, would you say that again?
Like when I think about when somebody said like a Reverend Al Sharpton or one of those names,
Uh-huh.
I think about just like a hashtag, something that's just meant to be shared and not actually done anything.
I was just trying to make sure. I was like, okay, so no action network. That's what you said.
But
You said
that's why I
no
wanted to
action network.
that's why I wanted to add in is not just the Reverend Al Sharpton, it is the National Action Networks, right? And that's all 50 states, across the country, a organized group. So it's not just a hashtag thing that we're supposed to be doing. It was supposed to have been a real thing that Americans were supposed to buy into.
Yeah, I actually saw Black Americans specifically.
Correct.
And it says, let's follow Al Sharpton's leadership. That's how I received 2 of them.
Word.
So you're absolutely right. It was good because but other people may have received the same context, received the same text, and they may have looked at that and thought that, like,
Hashtag.
hashtag.
I ain't gotta do nothing.
Like there's really no need to,
I just gotta share it, right?
yeah, just pass the word. So so just pass the word. We're not gonna do too much. But that is what we are going to be exchanging insights about this evening. Y'all make sure, if you want to comment in the chat, leave a comment in the chat about any questions or anything that you hear us talk about. We will respond to the chat. We like to get some feedback. We got the live chat going on right now. Y'all can go ahead and express whatever you want, exchange in the chat if you want to. I dropped the link a little bit later in the show, but for right now, we're gonna go ahead and get to tonight's questions about the word boycott. So tonight, y'all, we are smoking on the word boycott once again, and we have 3 questions that we will be discussing primarily this evening. Now, first question is, what are the motivations of boycott movements? Pardon me. What are the motivations of boycott movements? Second, what are some advantages and disadvantages of a boycott? what are some advantages and disadvantages of a boycott? And our third and final question this evening will be, is it legal to boycott? Is it even legal? You know, what does state law say about it? What does federal law say about it? You know, we had a lot of the Roe versus Wade, you know, was overturned, and you know, it was a lot of you know, lot of press about that, a lot of concern throughout, you know, the feminine community, the females, all the women, you know. So when we look at that, we say, hey, well, you know, boycotting is one of them things too. Could that be written off? Could that be something? Everybody concerned about these DEI things. You know, so I mean, is it possible that boycotting could be a DEI thing that's now banned? So getting into our first question, what are the motivations of boycott movements?
So firstly, Guy, like always, good questions, right? Very, very. Those are good questions because they always make you think, right? And I had no idea what I was going to be walking into, right? So when I see, so at first glance, my first thought when I see what are some motivations of a boycott, um, to me, I think is to change of a status quo, right? I think that's the ultimate motivation. So whatever is happening, um, you don't like it and you want it to stop, and in order to stop it, you're going to stop doing something else or do something else as a collective, right? And take attention away from the thing that you want to stop, so to speak, right? You know, I don't know. It's like it's because you talked about the Roe v. Wade, and it kind of messed me up because I'm like, I don't know how a boycott would fix that. I think a protest.
How a boycott would fix that?
Like what would you be boycotting exactly? Um,
I mean, well,
you know, and I'm not being funny. Like
I mean, maybe they would boycott abortion clinics, but then there wouldn't be no need for Roe v. Wade.
there would be no need for Roe v. Wade.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying, right?
you
Like
know,
so.
but that is based on having a idea of what we think that a boycott is defined as.
Correct. Right. And
So we don't know the definition of boycott, so I really can't
yeah,
say
yeah, I don't know.
how a boycott could be effective in a situation like that. I just look at it as just like that was something that was considered like a right, you know.
Yeah, and
You know,
it was
to be able to have control, some,
yeah.
you know, some freedom over your body, over your own choices, you know. And I understand, like, people protest all the time and
Ooh,
petition things, but you have to get
well,
a permit to do that. You can't just, it's like it's really no freedom of assembly. Like, you have to go get a permit, or else you're gonna be loitering or trespassing and you're gonna get arrested. So like there's an illusion that like we can just go pick up some sticks and just, you know, go burn some shit down. Like we trespassing and everything. So like that's why all the charges be coming the way they coming.
so I did. Is an unrealistic, but I did think of a potential boycott, for Roe v. Wade, right?
Okay.
Uh, if everybody was serious, and wanted what they wanted, and it wanted men to, I guess that, if the argument was men need to stay out of women's business, if that was the real ultimate issue, I would imagine women could collectively say no more box until men shut the hell up.
So they gonna boycott D.
That's the that's the only because in my mind, right?
He said they gonna
The only
boycott D.
boycott is stopping something. Like you're stopping. You're trying to stop patronizing the thing. You're trying to stop paying attention to a thing. You're trying to stop a thing from occurring. And the only way to do that is you have to do something else somewhere else,
Yeah.
right? And just using that example because it was a good one, right? Because if like they'll like because a protest wouldn't change that. Like a protest will bring awareness and stuff, and
Right.
have people marching and holding signs and stuff like that. Like that's the actual act of protesting. But to withhold something in order to get your message across, right? Like the only thing I can think of it would be the box. I mean, or you know,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either, but
Yeah.
that's what I think. But and again, right? That's why I say like the motivation of a boycott is to effectively change the status quo,
Okay.
right? And by it's just tricky. It's just stopping or stop doing something, stop patronizing something, stop paying attention to something. But it's kind of tricky.
Yeah, I do. I do. I agree. I agree that it is one of them things where it's like, okay, what separates a protest from boycotting? You know, like there may be a lot more violence, is you know, but you could have a peaceful protest. So that's where it's like, you know, so that's where we have to get the definition of boycott. I'm gonna say things that are motives of boycotts would be, you know, racial issues, social issues, um, economic issues, and those right there to me are the three main motives of it, like economic, social, political, racial. You know, those are to me those are all the motives because that's all we've really seen it, and you don't really like you don't even see people boycotting stuff within communities anymore. Like,
I don't know, God. Like to be completely honest, I only know of one boycott that worked. The one official boycott, right? That counts in my mind as something that everybody participated in. That was the bus boycott, right? Like to me, that was the last boycott that was effective and impactful, and whatever the message was supposed to be, numbers was able to be calculated, and a difference was seen, and people were really walking, people were really donating shoes to people, you know, because their shoes, you know, wore out and stuff like that. Like it was it was a lot of black people helping and supporting other black people in this decision that they made to stop riding the bus,
okay,
right? Since then, honestly, all I've seen are hashtags and protests. I haven't seen anything like that to say that we even had anything else like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't. I mean,
I haven't seen anything that has been done to that level that has actually changed legislation. And that is, you know, that whole civil rights movement, the, you know, like that was it.
that was
After
it.
that, that was it. that was it. You know, so you know, so like early, that's why I said like I don't join in the reindeer games because you know,
All right.
since that like nobody's crashing out. It doesn't seem like, and nobody seems like they require those results.
Yeah, and that was super effective, right? Like to me, it doesn't matter which side of the fence you sit. If they capitulated and wound up going back, we should have started our own companies or whatever. That to me, that doesn't matter as far as if the boycott was effective, because you got a large group of people of like mind to to walk every damn where.
To agree
to
collectively.
to agree and collectively
Yeah.
agree to walk everywhere and to encourage politely each other to walk everywhere and to help and assist each other in walking everywhere, so that their impact could be felt, right? Because they wanted to make an economic impact on a bus company. They're like, yo, if my memory is correct, right? It was like, all right, y'all don't want us sitting up front. Y'all saying our money don't matter. Y'all saying that our funky low bus fare, ain't enough to put gas in this thing. We'll show you, right? And from what history tells us, it was highly successful.
Is that they had enough black people in that town
Exactly,
to
to
pull
walk,
that off.
to pull that off,
To pull that off, you know.
right?
And then if you had enough other black people in another black towns
It would have worked well,
where they were a majority, then yeah, of course it is.
right?
Yeah, of course it is. But I don't know. I don't even know if that's even effective anymore, because everything is so now like spread out, and you have black people in pockets,
A bunch of different pockets.
you know. So I don't even know if
Yo, you
that would
got
be
black people that
effective
say they're
anymore.
not even black people, right? They can't even agree to be black people. Can't agree to be African Americans. Can't agree to be Moors. Can't agree to be Hebrew Israelites. Can't agree to be ADOS. Can't agree to be FBA. Can't agree to be freemen. Can't agree to be Negroes. We all agree to be niggas though, except for the old people.
I don't never agree to be no nigga.
We old, son.
Never. Never. I never agree with nigga. Never. I have
See,
a I have a name.
and and they buried the N word, so you're not even supposed to say it no more, right? Um, so it's
Nah,
a whole
you could say it, just be prepared for whatever come with it. That's it. You could
yeah.
say it. You gotta know who you say. You should know who you saying it to. You know, I would think if you're gonna use it, make sure it's a term of endearment, or make sure you just describing something, except for not calling somebody uh belligerently out their name.
And if you're gonna call somebody belligerently out their name, follow it up with your fists, right? Like don't let it be on some old
Follow it up with your fist.
yeah, because I don't
so
like I
so
don't like
so
this. 'Cause
so hold up,
y'all
hold
got
up, hold up, hold up, God, hold up, God, hold up, God. So even for a black woman who's frustrated, who does not know how to communicate effectively, you want her to follow it up with her fist.
if she gonna say it, right? If you're gonna lose yourself and motherfucker, because this is my position, right? This,
Bitches need to get beat up.
no,
We don't
no,
hit girls. Well, I mean, a
not
nigga and bitch, hoe and pimp, or trick and slut situation is different between two
that's different.
adults having a conversation trying to
Yeah,
get a
that's
resolve,
that's different, God.
right? So then
And
a bitch supposed to get beat up?
that's what I'm saying, right? Like
Nah,
you don't call somebody out their name
nah, you don't do
if
that.
you don't call somebody out their name if you're not willing to act on that, right? So you don't call somebody a nigga if you ain't willing to punch this motherfucker in their face,
I
right?
agree. I
Right?
agree.
Because what
I
suckers
agree.
do,
I agree.
suckers say nigga, right? And they want it to permeate into your heart and go down into your soul and touch the pit of your emotions, and they want you to go, what did you call me? Right? and they want you to black out. So now you're
That's crazy.
you're emotional, and now they're in self-defense mode. And I'm saying, nope, I'm always in self-defense mode. I don't want no smoke, right? If you bring it to me, that means you absolutely wanted it,
Yeah, that means you absolutely looking for that.
right? Because I don't, it's all love. I want hugs,
Yeah,
but
but I don't gotta give you that just because you looking for it. I can get the fuck away from you too. You know what I'm saying? And pay you no
yeah,
mind.
that's true.
You know, I can
That's true.
boycott your ass. You know, like I got discipline. I can
To
boycott.
change the status quo.
You know, yeah, like
Yeah,
I don't need to deal with that. I don't want to spend no money with you. I don't want to talk about no political. I don't want to talk
nothing,
about no social. I don't want to talk about nothing.
nothing.
You know what I'm saying? You are boycotted all the way, God.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, that's wild though. But you know, this boycott thing and looking at what are what are motivations of boycott movements. You know, there's a lot of it's a lot of things that we've seen through history. But just like the guy was sharing just now, like, you know, we've really only seen one boycott movement that
Only been
actually
one.
had, you know, that actually had some legislation behind it where there was a big change. There was something that um one of the things that I asked about with the uh February 28th boycott was, what is the reward? Like, what are we getting? You know, I understand a lot of people were saying, you know, well, we standing in unity. And I'm like, okay, but what is our goal? You know, like I get this, but like, how do we take account? Like you can't even check, you can't even take attendance. You can't even take muster. So you don't even know like who participated and who didn't, you know? So I'm thinking, you know, there should be accountability. You can see it when people do it. You know, like that's that thing we saw. We saw the people not take the bus. We saw the people give each other rides.
I
We
think
saw
these people
people,
think hashtags accountable.
you know. So that's where I'm like, okay, I understand the motives. You know, this thing had a lot of different things in it in relation to the boycott that you know, we must use the power we do have and send an economic message with our numbers, as Dr. King did in the 60s. That's what I see there.
So that's what it says.
That's one of the things. That's towards the end. It said, you know, do not spend money on food, fast food, gas, major retailers. Do not use credit cards or debit cards, non-essential sending. What you can do, if necessary, is only buy essentials, absolutely necessary items such as food, medicine, emergency supplies. If you must spend, only support small local businesses. You know, so when I see the small local businesses, I didn't see an emphasis on
On black.
black businesses.
Correct.
You know, it says, you know, don't shop online, no Amazon, no Walmart. So I guess these are the targeted, these big names right here, who I all own in my stock portfolio. Shout out. Because I figured if y'all wasn't gonna give it to us all on Thursday, then y'all would be right there Saturday morning giving it right back. So, you know, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, McDonald's, nowhere. You know, and that's something I'm just like, well, why didn't they tell everybody the money that you don't spend that day, buy the company, go into your Cash App account and buy whatever you thought you was gonna spend that day. Go into your Cash App account. Everybody got Cash App. This for the hood. Everybody got Cash App.
That would have been effective.
Everybody go and you buy you some shares of these stores. Don't spend money at them. Start investing them, and then realize this: I spend so much money at these places. Why do I not own it?
Correct.
If I own a house and I go to Home Depot or Lowe's all the time, why do I not own their stock? Why am I not just cost averaging in? Why not? If you go to Walmart all the time, why do you not own some shares of Walmart? Why you not spending with yourself? We not taught that. I'm coming bows on the table. But you know, but these things arise in this boycott stuff, you know, because these are the things that it's like this is what we're supposed to be affecting. But then like where do I win? How do I win out of it? Like we had a conversation, guy. I'm like, our families need to heal. You know, like we got family that won't even work together with each other. And
Fact.
like, and I'm supposed to not shop at Amazon or Walmart or Best Buy or McDonald's on the way. Like, I don't even eat McDonald's. I own it, but I don't eat it. Not the fries, not the shakes, not the ever since the strawberry sundae left the building. Ever since that left the building, man, Pearl ain't been back ever since. You know, so you know, but I own it though. You know, because it just makes sense to own it. I hardly ever see a McDonald's go out of business. I didn't even see them go out through COVID.
Correct.
You know, I did definitely. Walmart didn't. Amazon definitely. They made all the money during COVID. You know, so I'm like, let's do two things at once. Can we do that? Can we say, let's stick together and let's do this? Because if the mindset of things like this February 28th boycott is we are economically, Black people in America are economically behind the curve. All right. Then wouldn't it be fair to say that, okay, we need to do more? Baby steps ain't gonna get it.
By the company. Yeah.
Let's teach ownership, not employee. So even if you go work there, then you still own it. Like, hey, even if I pick up a job at Walmart, you know, I got some gray, but I don't think I'm there yet to be, you know, at the front door talking
Walking
about,
to
hey, y'all.
Walmart.
Talking about, hey, y'all, you know, all right. You know
You
what I'm
gonna
saying?
get fired your first day. You can't say, "Hey, y'all."
Why not? Man, I'm in the South, man. You can say, hey, y'all. Everybody know what's going on. That's good morning. All right. Or good afternoon, good evening, however you want to look at it. But yeah, I could do, you know, but you could own the actual shares too. I could be taking that money and be like, I don't even really need this. You know, if you retired or whatever, you know, use your, you know, you'd be like, I don't even really need. Let me just take this and all the checks they give me, I'm just gonna buy shares.
Use their money to buy they stock.
I gotta give my time, but I'm cool. You know, so it's plenty of ways to put your money to work for you while you sleeping and come together as a collective and exemplify something. But I'm like, I wanted to know what was the rim. For one day, we will show them who really holds the power. How?
Yeah, and show who exactly.
And who is them?
Right, and again, where is it being calculated at? Like, where will we see the impact?
The result, yeah. Where is that? Can we wait on that text? Is that another mass text that's just coming out? You know, that's gonna say, "Hey,
That would
y'all,
be helpful.
this is what you not spending did. This is the results of the Black community not spending a dime on February 28th." Can they release that? Can y'all release that? Somebody, whoever, because
Without
what
that,
it looked like is a Gallup poll. That's what it looked like to
yeah,
see where you psychologically at in this paradigm at this place and time right now. I know that sounds conspiracy-ish, but you know, this is smoke easy, man. We just be exchanging insights. But I mean, it seemed like a Gallup poll. It don't seem like something that actually, because like nowadays, don't people want that? Don't the people who actually plan things in life and are purposeful and goal oriented, don't they look for what they actually can get, the reward is when they invest their time and themselves into things?
100% of the time.
So that had so to this. So when I see things like this, it'd be like, that's for the sheeple. That ain't for me. That's an insult because you ain't give me no goal. You ain't tell me what the reward was at the end. If I get up and go to work every day, which people would call slaving, I know at least what I'm going to get at the end when I get paid. So why am I good enough to go do that? And I'll allow myself to go through that, but I don't require more than a text message saying, oh, you need to do this because of the color of your skin. I ain't nobody's puppet. I ain't nobody's captive. Ain't nobody got control over me but me. That's it. I could pull the plug on this thing if I want to.
Don't do that, God.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't never boycott myself. Never. Never. If it's one person who won't be boycotting me, it won't be me. You know? Honestly, guys. So that's why I'd be like, man, I wish these things would come out with a little bit more purposeful intent, like, and goal oriented, because we seen what happened on January 6th. So crashing out ain't even an option. So how effective is this?
Yo, cause even if you said I'm saying January 6th was a protest, not a boycott, but even if you say it was a boycott, that didn't do anything.
Nothing.
Like nothing. Like that had no purpose at all. It had no agenda, no mission. It was just to spread chaos. Like that was the goal. And so what I don't like in that language, right? In that flyer when they talk about the like Dr. King in the 60s, right? When you was talking about the motivations for a boycott, you mentioned things like racism, economics. You mentioned a bunch of social strifes that we are aware of that we dealing with right now. And as you were saying that, I was like, I don't know, God, because none of those things have been enough yet to make us collectively agree that that thing is enough. So now we're going to do this thing in order to get this result. Like mad people done been shot by the police. Mad young brothers done killed each other in gang violence. Mad grandmas houses done been shot up because of gang violence. You know, churches done been ran up into. Like it's mad stuff that's been going on that everybody say with their mouths, right? They sick of and they tired of it, but they don't do anything. They don't even go to fill out a change.org petition. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't do anything besides say. Like, that's why I say like all this stuff is hashtag. So you know when you was talking about the how the bus boycott, why it was successful, and you I'm paraphrasing, right? You mentioned how it was in a local area that had a whole group of a majority of black people. So you had the people in place that could economically impact a specific area that could be used as an example across America to say or to show, yo, if you don't get your stuff together, we gonna take this show on the road and we gonna shut down a bus around the whole country, right? Today they don't do that. They blast it on the internet for everybody, and it's not local to anybody. So everybody's asking why we doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody think that everybody should already know why we doing it, but nobody know. because it ain't. It's not. and then and then they use words like support local businesses. As a urban farmer, right? As a local business during Black History Month, I prefer that it be said to support Black business, right? If we're gonna specify a thing, and again, to to say local is not good enough, right? Because is your enemy's local too, right? Um, it's just too widespread. They dealing with a lot of hope. It's almost like they fishing, and whoever they are, right? I'm saying they are, whoever started the flyer, right? Even though it got Al Sharpton's name on it, we don't know that he actually spearheaded this thing. At least I don't.
Yeah, I mean, we see his name on it, but I'm not actually, giving him the, like you said, it's the National Action Network that he's a part of. I know he's the CEO. That's his thing,
Yeah,
and the founder, or I guess the founder or whatever. But, it is a consortium. But I don't blame him. Like, like at least he trying to do something. There is an effort, to try to do something. But it just seems to me it's Polish. It doesn't seem like there's a real, because it's too vague. It's a lot of putting different people's names in and, piggybacking off of that energy,
yeah.
and then saying we'll show them. Like, who the heck is them? Who are we showing? You know, like you gotta call out like
You gotta call out your enemy. You got
yeah, you
who
gotta
who
call
we
out the
fighting?
ops, man. Like call out your ops, man. Who we,
but
who is them?
but they
Who are
say
we
support
showing?
local business, right? And I'm like, local just means your neighborhood,
Anybody.
everybody in the neighborhood.
That's the gas station. That's local.
That's local.
You know,
Chinese restaurant, that's local.
Chinese, yeah. So I mean, what, and then what does that do? That's what I would like to know. Like, what does that do? What is the final result of that?
So I would like to see a boycott if we're gonna use local businesses. Just thinking about the gas stations and the Chinese restaurants and stuff like that. Um, I would like to see the boycotts get rid of the owners that's working there now and replace them with real local people, right? With Black people, with real people from the community that at least live in the neighborhood, that just don't own and live someplace else and just sucking up the resources and taking them someplace else, right? Like, I think that businesses in the community should be forced to affect the community, right? They are there making money off the people. They should be there improving, helping to improve the neighborhood, helping to improve the standard of living, right? Everything should be like a circle. Everything supports everything else, right? But what happens a lot of times is a lot of these business owners don't live in a community that they got these establishments, and they wind up sucking up resources from the community and taking them to a whole nother community, and benefiting that community and leaving the other community without, right?
Because the
So
people in that community don't want nothing better for themselves already, right? So
because
like,
there's already a store here, why do I need to put another one?
but I'm biased on that, because if we went and opened up a gas station and it was in a neighborhood, I wouldn't care where it was, because we making our money. So
Correct.
I do understand that. The thing is like, most of the time these gas stations, because I've been in growing up, like, after I became a responsible adult and started my, traveling and my career and everything. Prior to that, we was always in the hood, always. So plenty of times I seen stores that people could have bought, but they wasn't focused on that. They was trying to get something
Plenty of
else,
stores. Plenty of
you know.
stores.
They was trying to get something for everybody else to see, you know, something material. Oh, I drive this a car, some clothes, you know, some foolishness, something that's just like, man, you can get that. Like that ain't shit, you know. So in lieu of, you know, in not even like trying to, you know, say stay up with culture or with the with the cool kids or whatever, the in crowd, stay popping, stay lit, instead of taking their money and investing and saying, okay, we're gonna buy this building in the community and we're gonna start this business and we're gonna do this. You know, I've also seen people do that too. But the problem that happens is they still be selling dope out the back door.
For no reason.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, so it's one of them things. That's why I said unbiased, because it's like if you don't have somebody who comes in there and runs it as a legitimate business, is it really going to be beneficial to the community?
But that will come with growth and maturity if the circumstances permitted that, right? Because I remember being a kid growing up, and I don't mean this to sound hateful at all, but it was just my perspective as a child and something that I observed, right? And I used to I used to say to myself all the time, I don't like the fact that Asian people, but at the time I thought all Asian people were Chinese people. So
Right,
as
right. I get it. Yeah, of course. I thought I met Koreans the first. Matter of fact, no, I met a Taiwanese person, the first Asian person I ever met, and I thought everybody was from Taiwan because that's what I
right,
was introduced to, like first. So
right.
yeah,
And I remember, you know, being in the hood and walking up and down the block and thinking to myself, I'm cool with the Chinese restaurants, but how come they also own the laundromats and the fruit and vegetable stands too? How come nobody else owns those? Why does it seem like there was a monopoly? Like they had to own everything, right? And I'm like, see, like somebody from the neighborhood should be owning this laundromat. Like somebody from the neighborhood should be owning, you know, this bodega, this fruit stand. But for whatever reason, it seemed like whoever is quote unquote deemed to be successful, they get to take over everything, and everybody see them as the successful people, and they are allowed to prosper. And it's like we just give up any expectation of ourselves to be able to participate. Because there's no other reason for why all those stores and all those establishments would just sit there, because we had the bread. I remember looking it up, and a Subway's was like 50 grand to open up,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember talking about it with people, and they was like, "Yeah, but that's a Subway's though. Like nobody really eat at Subway's and this and that." And I'm like, it was like mad years later before the pedophile charges came out and stuff like that, right? Like Subway's was mad successful.
Man,
You know what I'm
you ain't
saying?
know me then, did you?
Nah, right? Like
Because
I wish I would have, because I would have we'd have bought that shit.
yeah, yeah, I'd have put 25 on that. I would have got that from somewhere. I'd have put it off a credit card
You
or
know what I'm
something. Did a
saying?
cash advance over, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever.
We'd have
That
made
was
that.
well, that was before interest rates was 30% on a
Ooh,
card.
yeah,
Even though we ain't there, but thank
yeah.
God. But
But yeah, it's the same stuff, right? And it seemed like every single time I brought the notion up of buying one of these establishments, like you know, brothers would talk themselves out of how, you know, we don't, not necessarily we don't even, but they wouldn't say the words that we don't belong in business on that side of business, but they kept making a bunch of excuses. Ain't nobody gonna support, you know, ain't nobody gonna come and take, you know, if, you know, ain't nobody gonna go to no black laundromat. Ain't nobody gonna go to no.
we're not going to win because we don't want to try.
We're not gonna win because we don't want to try.
We're not going to win because we don't want to try. Yeah, it's a cool loser's attitude.
Yeah,
You
right.
know,
And
they
I
think it's
stopped being a
cool, but they
loser.
losing.
I stopped being a loser when I was born. Right. Like,
I jumped off the porch at 11 years old. So I've been out here. I've been out here wanting to do something, wanting to, wanting to get involved, wanting to get active, wanting to be, learning, wanting to be nosy, wanting to be grown, all that,
Wanting the things that I say I want.
wanting the thing, doing what it take to get them,
Doing what I'm taking it for real.
So definitely, I have not been boycotting myself at all. Never boycott yourself. All right, y'all. So tonight we discussing the word boycott, and we getting ready to head over to the definition of boycott. We have been talking about, exchanging insights and talking about what are the motivations of boycott movements, and just sharing some other insights. Before we get into our second question of the evening, we're going to go ahead and jump into the definition of boycott. Okay. So we have boycott. Boycott is a verb, transitive verb, to engage in a concerted refusal to have dealings with. To engage in a concerted refusal to have dealings with a person, a store, or organization, usually to express disapproval or to force acceptance of certain conditions. Boycott, it is a verb, and it is to engage in a concerted refusal to have dealings with. That concerted means what the guy Ali was, Dawu El at BK Soul Farm was talking about, where the February 28th boycott that we most recently seen within the Black community. He was saying that although Reverend Al Sharpton's name was attached to it, that it was probably a consortium of people, primarily through his what's that thing called? The Action Network?
National Action Network.
National Action Network, and it was a consortium of people. So it was a group of people. And this is when we consort, like everybody who participates. Okay. So it started as a consortium, and it still was a concerted effort to have dealings with. And in their case, it was stores and organizations. It wasn't, and then it does say, etc. And it was to express disapproval or to force acceptance of certain conditions. And this is where I was talking about, it didn't give this. It didn't give what our disapproval is, and it didn't give what the certain conditions are.
So if you lazy, I think that when they talked about to the economic, to show them our economic power, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the acceptance condition, right? To show them.
To force an acceptance of a certain condition, to
Like,
force them,
to see,
because they said them, right?
yeah, to force them to see how
force.
much money we don't spend with them, right? So that was the goal, I think, right? To show them, all of the stores and organizations, this is how much money.
What's the African American beef with McDonald's?
I think that boycott was for every major corporation that has come out publicly and announced that they was disbanding all of their DEI activities.
The DEI gets deeper.
Yeah, and that's what makes it, that's and that's what makes it deep in the
Okay.
first place, because um the fact that these organizations are going out of their way to change their websites, to change their what they're about to say, like they take out the caring for people and stuff like they're going out of their way to change the words on their pages to make sure that it's not DEI focused at all, and it reflects the best candidate, or the best effort and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Like people want affirmative action, then they don't want to be, then you don't want to get it because just the color of your skin. Like I don't know what's going on. So let's go ahead and go to these synonyms of boycott. And they give us the word boycott as a verb, as in black.
as into black. What?
Okay. As into black. All right. And then we get black and blackball. And their black is chiefly British. All
Oh,
right.
so, oh, okay.
And then blackball. All right.
So that chiefly British don't necessarily mean black people.
They
It could
call
just
they
be
call them they call them they call them blacks over there too.
yeah.
They call it all the Jamaica, all the West Indians that go to Europe, all the Africans that go to Europe, they all are black. They all get called black.
Is
And
that
if they
true?
and if
Over there? I thought that was just over here in America. I didn't know they got called black over there too.
yeah, they black. The black they how else you gonna refer to how else they be referring to people? You think culturally everybody over there says, oh no, he's African.
So
When you had
I look at
somebody
that. I look
like
at
Elon,
that.
when you had somebody like Elon who's African, right?
I wouldn't say that, but
If he was born there, it's like
I
somebody.
don't I don't go by that born there crap. I don't deal with that.
How not though? That's where you from. That's where you born.
Whatever my parents are, right? Like I don't care if my parents were from the moon, right? And they moved to America, like I'm still a Moonite, right? Like I don't care. Like my ancestry still from the moon. My
I ain't
genetics
say
still.
your ancestry. I said where you born at. I ain't talking about none of that.
Yeah, no, I
Like
get I
all,
get I
like
get that.
all that is a mental mindset after you start living and making your own choices and everything. You know what I'm saying? But where you born at, that's where you was born at. Like if you born in Brooklyn, then your birth certificate say you born in Brooklyn, right? So like if people in Africa, like they don't say that's the Jamaican, that's the Jamaican.
But they do though. They got different names for the different people over. That's what I'm saying. Like that one chick that one, I forget her name, South African singer. She got that like water song or whatever. She was on the Breakfast Club, and she was talking about how she refers to herself as colored,
Okay.
right? But it's not something that she refers to herself as. Like that is their classification for her type of person over there. Like I don't want to, I guess she's like a mulatto or something like that.
Okay.
And they call those type of people a specific thing. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know
I
if
mean, I mean, bro, that's still not just calling them by name. You still getting categorized. That's my point I'm making. We still getting put in a box, you know?
that's true.
Like, like, like I'm not even from where my daddy was born at or my mama was born at. I'm from my daddy nuts. That's where I'm from. where life starts. You know, so like that's where I'm choosing to come from with it. You know, what my birth certificate say is one thing. What I choose to be in life, that's another. You know, like we having our way with it, but like even the way I put that, the way you said you would be a Moon Knight. You know, I'm from my daddy nuts. So like the dude African, all right, we not gonna give him. You know, we don't have to give him, you know, all this credit of being associated with the diaspora, because of course he's not. But at the
But
same time,
that's my problem though, right? Because people like him will take the position because I'm born there, because I'm African and I'm in America. I'm an African American.
he is though. Like we didn't make the
Man, fuck
rules,
that.
but
Nah, fuck that.
he is though,
Fuck
dog.
that.
Like,
Fuck that.
like
Nah, fuck,
I'm
yo,
gonna tell you, I met one in the
no,
I met
I
one
had
doing service. I met a young lady who was an African American, white, for 100% white lady, and
I met a Nigerian at my job that came from Nigeria recently, talking about she the real African American because she came from Africa to America and did the American dream, served her country, blah blah blah. Man,
she can have it. Have your own. It is your life. Live it how you want. But for real, like, and the chick was cool, but I didn't know. I didn't. That was the first time I get introduced to it. That was way before Elon. And you know, and she was like, "What's up, bro?" And I was like, you know, we didn't talk like that. We didn't talk to each other like that. Wasn't our normal interaction. And I was like drawn back, and I'm like, bro, because she was an officer, and I'm enlisted, and I'm like, you know, what's up with the bro? Where you going with this? You know? And then she just like, you ain't know that I was African. Right, so I knew she
uh,
was just being cool. I knew she was just being cool, so I'm just like, all right,
I ain't with it. I
like,
ain't with
all
it.
right, all right, so you're African, okay. So I'm thinking she joking. I'm kind of like walking off. I'm calling her by her name. I'm not gonna put her name out here on the show, but I'm calling her by her name, like, okay, Miss So and So, you crazy, you wild, bro, you African. I don't know where you going with this. Let me go ahead and get back to work because I don't know where you going. But she was like, no, seriously, like I'm African American. And then I was intrigued because she sounded like she was serious. And I'm like, how? Explain how you're putting this together. And then she broke it down. She was African. She born in Africa, but she live over here.
Yo, God.
So I was like,
I,
wow, I didn't know that that existed. I didn't know that you could do that. I didn't know that you can put those things together like that. So that's why I don't be caught up on checking no boxes, you know.
I hear that. I ain't with it though.
Yeah,
Right? Like
I don't get caught up on checking no boxes.
I'm gonna
Be
check
free
it.
for real.
The God Ali Dawood El would check that shit aggressively every single time. If you didn't come from the same process that I went through, and you talking about you the same thing as me, I got a problem with it, and I'm gonna always have a problem with it, even if I don't even accept that this because it's the same thing. My dad from Chicago, right? That's where he was born, and my mom was born in Brooklyn, right? But my dad moved to Brooklyn, but everybody originally from South Carolina, but everybody originally from the continent. Like, how we want to play the game, I'm just going by the rules that's put on the table right now, and I don't like it. I don't like it. But hey,
But
real
the
quick,
rules say that she could do that though. The rules
man,
say that
fuck
she could do that. The
yeah.
rules say that
That's
Elon could
that's
do it.
yeah. That's a
That don't
rule that
mean
they
we
made
gotta
up.
like the rules. I agree, but
Man, fuck
I
that.
ain't tripping off the rules.
Hey, nah, but real quick though, we got on this conversation because of the chiefly British. I pushed the button on it, right, and I went and looked it up. The word black um, under it says chiefly British. It says subject to boycott by trade union members as employing or favoring non-union workers or as operate under conditions considering unfair by the trade union. And then the sentence says a ship that was declared black by the union. So they don't mean people at all when they talking about that color. It's like a state of
Where is this at? Where you seeing this at? Are we on the
web
page so we can pull it
nah,
up?
it's on Webster. If you click the word I actually typed in the word black. We go to the dictionary on black. The dictionary of it, yeah. And scroll down to number 11.
Whoa, it's a lot of blackness.
No. Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what chiefly British is going on. I mean, we took it on some because that's what we talking about in relation to.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, that's good for clarity as far as subject to boycott by trade union, like the stuff you was reading. Yeah. So if that's what they're referring to it as a boycott, then yeah, then that's a boycott. That breaks that down. That explains what chiefly British is when it comes to a boycott. Now, what is blackball?
I'm trying to scroll like it's my screen. To exclude, socially ostracize, or boycott.
Yeah, wasn't no votes going on. Yep, so to exclude socially, ostracize, be boycott. So that's what we got for boycott. Synonyms and similar words. Black and blackball. That's it.
To your point though, to your original point, based on the definition, that's why I said it. If you was lazy, you could make that reach and stretch. That's what they're trying to do. But in all reality, based on the definition of the word boycott, they did not. They didn't lay nothing out, right?
What you mean?
They didn't express. We wasn't necessarily expressing our disapproval for anything specific, right? And there wasn't no force of an acceptance. There was no force of a change.
Exactly.
We didn't invest in McDonald's or Amazon. We didn't open up our own Amazon and our own Targets and our own. We didn't do none of that.
Target wasn't on there. I guess they could still go to Target. It do say nowhere though. I'm just
because like even like places like Target, right? Like because when they started taking all the quote unquote all the black people stuff off the shelves, and at first everybody was like boycott Target, don't shop at Target, but then a lot of the quote unquote black business owners that had their things on the shelves in Target was like, yo, if you boycott Target, we're not going to make any money, right? And you got to remember how hard it is to get our products on the shelves in Target. And if you don't buy, this is just going to give Target an excuse or a reason to take our stuff off the shelves and then say, see, nana, nana, boo, boo, black people stuff don't sell. And I'm like, if all the black business owners that got their stuff in Target get their stuff together and open up their own Target, we go shop there, right? We don't necessarily need their stores, their establishments. Like we have enough brilliant minds, enough brilliant business people, clearly, right? Because their stuff made it into these big chain stores, right? Like they told us how hard it is to get on the shelves of Target. So that means if your stuff is on the shelves of Target, you are a successful black business owner, right? Like you are a mover and a shaker.
Say that one more time, God. One more time. If your stuff is on the shelves of who? Say just go down the list. Go
of
down
Target, of Target, Walmart, Any of these stores, if it's in Publix, if it's in any growth, like if it's anywhere where it was it took some effort for you to get there. If you had to prove your product, if you had to prove your value and your product value, if you had to show that you were and are an earner, right? That means that you are a successful black business owner, right? You are a successful black business. You are a successful business, right? And you are equipped, right, with the knowledge, with the resources, right? And if all those business owners that's just on the shelves in Target would just cooperate, right? Those business owners could get us an establishment that we the consumers could patronize and consume from, and we wouldn't need to go to a Target. We wouldn't have to work so hard and tap dance and go through the back door and put on a good jazz hands and stuff like that and say, look, master, can I get on the shelf now? And he'd be like, yeah, boy or girl, get on this.
You wow. Yeah. I ain't letting you cooking. Go ahead, keep cooking, man. He said, yeah, master. Like everybody gotta go through that shit, God. Everybody gotta go. The white boys gotta go through it.
Every,
Asian boy gotta go
but
through it.
but
Indian
but
boy gotta
but
go.
this
Everybody gotta go through to get on them shelves.
on them shells, right? And I'm
Yeah.
saying if if that's the truth, right, then these business owners need to get together and put their money and resources together and give us something, give us other options, right? According to that flyer, right? The black dollar is so much of it, and we are so and potentially so impactful that what I'm saying is not far fetched. It's not that wild.
No, but the only thing I disagree with
Mhm.
in agreements is that if we have the economic power, we don't need them to give us shit. We
At
need to
all.
work. We need to work together and make our own.
That's
You
what I'm
know,
saying.
we need to do that part.
Yeah.
We need to focus on that more so than this thing talking about why this matters. Corporations and banks only care about their bottom line. If we
Period.
just if we disrupt the economy for just one day, it sends a powerful message. Now, let's break this down. Corporations and banks only care about their bottom line, right? Do you not care about your bottom line of your household?
100%.
You have a business. Do you not care about your bottom line of your business?
100%.
Okay, so this is not
Fair.
offensive.
Not offensive. It's almost like an emotional tugger. It's not.
This is only for financially illiterate people, people who have no sense of responsibility, who don't have a budget, who don't manage their money. They live wild, like no sense of money. Just think that, oh, the government make all the money. Don't even know how it works. So this is an easy play to say corporations and banks only care about their bottom line because the public school system don't teach nobody how to write a check no more. Home economics don't have how to balance a bank ledger, right? So if mama and daddy ain't teaching you that at home, or you don't go into an environment, you don't through your travels get into an environment where you learn it, all right, or get low enough in life where you make
you're,
yourself learn it,
you're
then guess
forced.
what? Then you're gonna be grown, still struggling with your finances and able to be easily emotionally manipulated by corporations and banks only care about their bottom line. You done had a bank account for 40 years and you ain't never tried to figure out nothing else, how to make it grow, how to do. You just steady overdrafting it, steady overdrafting it and shit, making it just to put, oh, let me make sure I got a deposit and do it. Like, come on, family. Like that's taking responsibility for your own actions. I don't think this thing matters to a corporation or bank in a bottom line because they still gonna get the money regardless.
Hmm.
So why should we? That's not a bad thing. Like if you're a responsible adult, if you're a young person, You care about your bottom line. If your bottom line ain't nothing but getting up every day and going to go make A's, because that's what your parents say, we will get you whatever you want. Go make A's. This school is your only response, and do your chores and whatever stuff we still telling you to do stuff. We still got handlebars on it. So if you're doing that right, guess what? That's your bottom line. That's that child bottom line. I get up, go to work every day. That's my bottom. That's part they expecting me to be there. They ain't expecting me to be Superman every day. But if they look in the corner and they need Clark Kent, then there you go. They expect them to be there. If we disrupt the economy for just one day, it sends a powerful message. I don't know. I don't know, does it? One day? So is the economy not affected when we have holidays that don't nobody shop? Are we more effective not spending money on one day than the days when nobody shops and everything is closed?
That flyer said for us to follow the movements of Dr. King and them, right? They walk for a year. They walk for a year, God. Not a day.
If they don't listen, we will make the next blackout longer. And it's called a blackout. Okay? But if you can't make a bigger impact than when stores are closed and nobody's shopping, on that day, we don't get no money from nobody. But on this day, a minority group is going to decide that they're not going to spend, like that's going to affect their bottom line. How about the other people in opposition? Because we live in a country where where racism does exist. So how about the other people that'll be like, you know what? They ain't going to go shop. That just means we can go in there and spend more money today, blah, blah, blah.
There's going to be less people in the store.
Show America that you don't need them anyway.
And then what you going to do?
Family.
That's the question, God. That's the question, right? Like, so because so this my thing, right? And I don't know how many people there are in America.
Boycott.
I don't know what the real numbers are as far as how many black people there are, how many white people, I don't know those numbers. I know what they say, right? And they say we 13-14% of the population of this country, right? If the other 87% or 83% spend more money, it kind of washes like that. Like, that's not
kind of math ain't mathing, right?
Like, unless we have an alternative, like unless there's a thing for us to win, we only lose. Right. So if we don't have our own stores that we patronize, if we don't set our own values, if we don't set our own price mark, if we just don't do what it is that we need to do for ourselves, again, like I said, they walk for a year. A year, God, like that's a long time to keep anybody
unity.
Keep anybody committed to a thing.
No, right? It's not. No, it's not.
A year?
No, it's not. It appears that way to us because we ain't never seen.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
That's all. But that's you true. Do it.
That's
you served in the military. You know people who retire from it. People stay committed to things.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? We have the ability. All them black government workers, everybody who worried about a DEI situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, let's be real.
A black government worker. Government workers ain't worried about DEI. They just worried about answering the email to goddamn Elon.
You know what you do this week? Send me some pictures.
I solved world hunger, sir. That's what I did.
That's crazy. But that's what I'm saying, though, family. So you know, like, and that too, that was like me saying that, like, I understand that it's not even the African American, the black works that governments, the black workers in government who really are going to be affected by DEI. You know, like looking at the list and how low on the list, you know, that African American government employees or workers in that related to that, whatever, and all the, you know, the restructuring, rearrangement, whatever they got going on. So it's like that thing is another thing where it's like people throw out something, all these narratives come out, nobody goes and does no research. Nobody sits down and break down and look at this thing and say, are they talking about me? Is this for me? Let me find out what my situation is so I can see how it applies if it does. And that's it.
And that's it.
And I instantly began going into solution mode. You know, because we can't be out here talking about this is how we make history. This is our first action. Our numbers are powerful. If they don't listen, then we'll make the next blackout longer.
What happens if we don't listen?
Who is we?
The people that, like, if black people. What happens if black people don't participate?
In
Right?
what?
In the boycott, or in it, like, what is their goal, or what is their,
It
like, how
ain't
do
no consequence. There wasn't no reward listed, so there ain't gonna
they?
be
There's
no
no reward.
consequence.
There's no
I mean,
consequence.
so well, hold up. Let me say it right, because I'm using it wrong, right? So there was no consequence provided at all,
At all, positive or negative.
positive or negative. There was no consequence provided at all by participating in the February 28th boycott. There was
You
no
know,
consequence provided, not a negative or positive.
because even if you got emotionally charged, right? March 1st, I'm thinking you pissed because you are looking for a report or something to know if this thing worked or not, right? Like, because, like, how would you know if the next time will need to be longer or not? You know, what are we using to gauge these results? Like, that's what
A
I'm saying.
text
Like,
message. As if you get the text. You ain't get the text. You
right?
ain't get the text.
So I keep my phone on do not disturb, so I miss a lot of things. Only my favorites get through.
you ain't get the text. That's that, man. I got about five. You ain't get the text. No, I ain't get the text. I don't even sit on my phone like that. How you be online and stuff and you don't be on your phone? I'm like, man, because there's other things that require my attention other
Yeah.
than sitting on my phone all day long.
I ain't gonna lie. I think I seen that flyer, and I'm pretty sure I shared it. You know, like I said, the hashtag is the thing you do. You share it, right? And for those who want to participate, go ahead, participate.
Yeah, I did. I kept scrolling. What they
You
do?
know,
What they
how,
do?
you know how it
Keep
go, right?
scroll up.
Because there was no consequences established at all.
And that was my only deterrent. You know, that deterred me. When you don't list the consequence, you know, um, I like to see what my potential reward or hazard is, you know, what could be something of gain or what could be something of harm. So it don't sound good. Like I'm not, yeah, let's prove them wrong. Yeah, let's prove them. Let's let's show them what it say.
I don't want to do that no more. I don't want
Yeah,
to
let's
prove.
show them. Yeah, let's show them
I'm I'm
for
grown as
one
hell.
day. Show who really holds the power. If they don't do this, we gonna what? We not gonna do nothing.
Not gonna do nothing. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to keep showing these people that we can run faster than them, that we can jump higher than them, that we can dance better.
Yeah,
Right?
we
Like,
already got the Olympics
we
and
got everything already. Like
hip
how much?
hop and everything. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
we got,
Pop.
like how much more inventions we got to invent? Like, how many more things we got to do? Like, I'm tired of let's prove to them. They already know. Like, we need to prove to ourselves that we are valuable enough. We need to prove to ourselves that we are worthy. We need to prove to ourselves that if we were to boycott anything, that it would be worth walking for a year at least.
Let's boycott ignorance. How about that? How about we start a whole text message to boycott ignorance?
Right? Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Let's get smart out here, right?
How
Let's
how about we boycott not crabbing each other? And how about we boycott cooperative economics? I mean, how about we don't boycott cooperative economics?
because it seemed like the cooperative economics is like, ew, you want to do that black thing.
Right?
It's not gonna work. When our whole economic issue in the hood is our dollar does not stay in the hood. If you give me $1, it went from you to me. I'm still in the hood. I'm in the same neighborhood you in.
Oh, I just had you exactly right, God. I just had a thought.
What's
So
that?
so in American culture, they say that the black man is the most imitated man on the planet, right?
Hmm.
The American black man, right?
Correct.
Okay. So regardless, let's just say that since we set the examples, right? So we set the example, we set the trend. What the black man do in entertainment, right? In entertainment, all right, it gets repeated. It gets copied. It gets embedded in people's brain. It becomes a social norm. Things like that, right?
Worldwide.
Worldwide, globally. Okay.
Impacts whole nations.
So that's our influence. That's the influence. All right. Now everybody else is biting off that. All right. But we don't bite.
We got my generation. We had a culture of not biting.
Okay. So I'm gonna show how through that, how not biting the right thing, because people bite a lot. They see somebody with something they want it. Uh that's how style and fashion. Somebody in the neighborhood come with some new kicks, you want to get them same kicks or a different color or something. See somebody wearing a jacket or something like that, right? So people bite
All
things
day, every day.
all the time, right? But we'll be in a community, going back to what the guy Ali Dawood El at BK Soul Farm just said so eloquently. We'll be in a community and we will see people spending their dollar with each other and won't bite that, won't imitate that. And I'll be blunt and specific with it. When we see Jewish communities in America, particularly those of the Orthodox nature, or Hasidic, or I don't want to be rude to nobody's religion, all right? But you'll see in their communities, they doing it. They make sure they dollar stay in the community. We could bite that. You telling me you can not be a ratchet person, start watching some TV. You could not be a violent person, start playing video games and start watching some shows. Go hang with your cousins and folks and them and whoever else, whatever. And you can pick up that negative behavior, but we can't pick up something that we see right there in front of our face that's benefiting the whole community. So we won't bite that. So that's why I'm saying, let's boycott ignorance.
Boycott ignorance.
Let's bite some styles, man. Let's bite the Jewish style. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to bite that style. I bite that style already in my own practices. Just through observation. It's easy. You can see it. You have to learn what it is, what you're actually seeing. But I mean, damn, if it's winning for that community, why wouldn't it win for our community? Oh, because they white. Oh no, because they Jewish. And all of those things sound like an excuse, like you was talking about earlier, of why we gonna fail already. And as long as that mindset still prevails, to follow the right thing, not the foolish things, not we gonna show them, and you don't even know who the heck them is. You don't even know who them is. Who is them? And then why is it so taboo to call out the ops? It's to call out your enemy, that just sound like them. That's who is them. That just sound like, come on, y'all, we about to go around the corner and fight. Who?
Whoever is over there, you crazy.
Sound like you about to get shot.
As soon as you walk around the corner.
You ain't told nobody who you fight, who around it. That person might be known for popping that thing. You can't just walk up on them. You might need somebody to call them and be like, hey, y'all got something going, man, we cool. Not even knowing they done had something since elementary school or something. They've been cool. You don't see them every day together, but they respect each other. We not doing nothing like that. And that's building intimate relationships between us. In order for that to start, you know, we got to boycott ignorance. So if ain't nobody trying to boycott no ignorance, man, don't call Pearl. I ain't signing up for it.
Or Ali.
For real.
Clearly, we're not trying to boycott ignorance. We got a whole show about education.
Nah, we love learning.
We love learning.
You know, we some nerds about this thing, man. Like this thing helped me get through the day. I can go back into society and feel more, you know, safe. Like I know what I'm looking at. Can nobody just walk up on me talking no wild, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we know how to communicate. We know what it looked like when you are actually doing things productive. And we know what it looks like when people have said, fuck it, you know? So like, there's a difference. There's a difference between being productive and being a bum. And tonight we talking about boycott. So y'all boycott being a bum, boycott being lazy, boycott being foolish, ignorant,
shiftless,
spineless,
debaucherous, slothful, loathful,
whorish, envious, jealous. Boycott all that stuff. You know,
boycott anything that make you say ill to your brother or sister. Right? Instead of saying, okay, that's what you into. Is better than ill.
Now go yuck. Go yuck. Go like you dirty. You know what I'm saying? You nasty, you disgusting. You know, you want to hurt somebody's feelings for real, you know. Or you could just be nice and you could just try to school them, man, for real. You know, the choice is always yours. But boycott the fuckery.
Definitely that.
Tonight, y'all, we've been exchanging insights and examining the word boycott. Right now, we're gonna move on to our second question of the evening. What are some advantages and disadvantages of a boycott?
Advantages and disadvantages of a boycott. So I'm only going to pull from modern times, you know, within my age group, the boycotts that I've seen in my lifetime, coming up on 47 years of looking and breathing.
47, you old. You old. And it's a blessing.
I haven't seen what advantages have I seen? I've seen hopeful advantages. I haven't seen any real advantages. I haven't seen anything come out of any recent boycott that I'm proud of, that has been historical or impactful, that has made anybody say, damn, is that what I did? Like I haven't seen, heard, or been a part of in America, right? Anything like that. So the disadvantages that I've seen is because they lack real uh local unity, right? In all the different local cities and areas and counties and states, right? There's no real organization. um I have not seen them work, right? Like you never know who is your leader that you're supposed to, who's actually speaking for you, right? Because even with this, it says Reverend Al Sharpton, but I didn't see National Action Network attached to it. I didn't see what you call them, press conferences from the National Action Network's spokespeople encouraging Black America to take action on February 28th. I didn't see that, right? So because I didn't see that, I don't know if Reverend Al Sharpton is really attached to it, even though his name is on it. But that's just how my brain works, right? Like to me, it's not real because I don't have enough evidence to say that this thing is real. I don't have anybody local that I can go tap, touch, or have a conversation with to say if it's real or not. So the disadvantages of modern boycotts is they lack organization, they lack um, clear goals, right? They lack um, all of the consequences, positive and negative, right? Like it's all heartfelt. Is not driven by anything other than an emotional catalyst to get to, it seems like, to get an emotional response, right? Like when you read that flyer, it sounded like to me to prove to them, to show them, right? Those things sounded like um finger waving um things, right? Like, see, I told you, like, yeah, we the best. DJ Khaled was DJ Khaled, right? We the
It's
best.
it's when you have to talk, but you know you're not gonna fight.
When you know you're not gonna fight.
Right. Like you know you're not gonna fight.
You
So you just have to point your finger and say, you need to get your shit together. Because you're
but
not gonna spank. You're not gonna spank.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
you're not gonna do anything at all, but you do want to look like you might, and not even that you might, but you will. You want to look like you will. And in 2025, yo, not even just in 2025, in my soon to be 47 years, that's always been corny to me.
Acting like you're gonna do something. Like, you're not gonna do nothing. Like,
You don't know how I get.
come on, family. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be grown ups. You know what I'm saying? Like,
which is why I say, if you're gonna call me out my name, follow it up with action, right? Because at least that let me know that you want to do something, right? Because
I don't got time for it, God.
I got I got
I don't got
anxiety, guy.
time for it,
I got
God.
anxiety, right? So I don't
Like,
need
nah, me too. That's why I don't need it. That's why I
right.
just be like, you know, like you don't know where playing with me, where I might take it.
That's what I'm saying, right? I
You see
need
what
like
I'm saying? So
that's
that's
what
why I be like,
that's what I'm saying
like I don't be wanting to play with nobody, man. Like I
at
like
all.
adults. I like people who are adulting, mature people
And
who
clear.
who respect and appreciate clear communication, you
Yep.
know, and even subtle, where you're not aggressive with it, where you got be telling somebody to do some shit or be nasty about it. You know what I'm saying? Where you can,
This ain't good though.
yeah,
Talk
that ain't never good. That ain't never good. That's ratchet. That's hood. That's ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't
that's
never.
funny.
That ain't like. That's what I said. I said I got called a nigga the other day, and I wondered had I been white, would I have been called a nigga? Since we talking about boycotting, you know what I'm saying? I wonder if I would have been a white person complaining about expressing and complaining. I was at complaint point, all right, but expressing and communicating about a situation I was trying to resolve. Would I have been called a nigga? Or would they have been bold enough to say, "Oh, you cracker"?
Mm.
But did they just feel comfortable disrespecting me because of my complexion?
Hmm.
You see?
Yeah. More than likely they felt comfortable because they felt unthreatened because there would be no legal action coming behind offending you.
Right.
At most, it would be handled civilly amongst the two homeowners, right? It won't be nothing real.
Auto, or whatever the situation was, homeowners,
Yeah,
autos,
yeah,
property, whatever it is. You know, I'm
yeah.
in a bank and I get called a nigga by the black bank teller. You know what I'm saying? So, like, regardless what the situation is,
The
like,
black
why?
bank, the black bank teller crazy because it's definitely action coming by.
You know what I mean? But it's just like it's so, it just it lets you know the people, like when you don't what they say, you don't judge people. When you don't judge people, when you're a person who does not judge people, I exercise good judgment, but I don't judge people. I give everybody an opportunity to show me who you are.
Yeah,
And then once you show me, I believe you. I'll even ask you for confirmation.
like you sure?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you sure that's what we on? Are we
Want to
on
show
that?
that to me? You sure you want to show me that?
Because I'm giving you a chance now to say, nah, that ain't what we on, family. We ain't on that.
You could take it back.
But then if you want to turn up,
Oh, don't double down.
you know what I'm saying?
Don't double down.
Then that just confirmed, if I even had to get there to ask you that, then that confirmed it, because you turned up. You didn't look for resolve to be like, oh nah, we don't want this shit to be like this, because my approach is I don't want it to be like that.
Correct.
But I turn up. We got a podcast network, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real. I tell your ass what you want to hear now. You better make sure it's what you want to hear from me. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna play with you. I like adulting. We deal with grown-ups over here, baby. No little boy shit. No little girl shit even. We boycott it. We boycott it.
But what about you? What advantage or disadvantage you think that there are?
Man, of a boycott, advantage of a boycott. Like you said, I haven't seen any. I have to agree with not seeing anything since the civil rights movement. I haven't seen an effective boycott, not where legislation was actively passed or it actually changed, the social fabric of of the norm for any group of people. I don't think for Hispanics, whites, blacks, nobody in
Haven't seen
America.
any. Haven't seen any since then.
No, so I don't see the modern advantages. If we're gonna say modern post civil rights era, I don't see the modern advantages of a boycott.
Question: would you consider a strike Was strike on there as a boycott?
Let me see. I didn't see the word strike though.
I
I
didn't
didn't
see it. I didn't see it either.
I didn't see the word strike, but um maybe when we was talking about when we looked up black and the black and chiefly British chiefly British, you know, Pinky Blinders, one of my favorite joints when I used to watch TV like that. But we have chiefly British, subject to boycott by trade union members as employing or favoring non-union workers or as operating under conditions considered unfair by the trade union. So the chiefly British in synonym of black in reference to boycott would apply to um, or should apply. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. They actually give a reference where it say a ship that was declared black by the union. So it was subject to boycott by trade union. Okay, so I would think that all of those ships were declared black. The whole port was declared black by the union when they boycotted it. When we had that big large boycott and on the east
That's
for the longshoremen.
that's what I'm saying, right? Like that. So I know they would say that they went on strike.
But they went on strike, and that was a labor dispute, but a boycott is not listed as a labor dispute. It's not defined. Let me say that we use the right words. Is not defined as a labor dispute. It is to engage in concerted refusal to have dealings with the person, this thing, store, an organization, etc. That could be a business. That could be a company, organization. Though company is an organization, especially if it's a INC or LLC, depending on if you on a sole proprietor LLC, then you have to have organization.
It's not even a synonym or nah. Strike ain't there, bro. I don't know. Because to me that their actions seem like that's what an action of a boycott would be. It seemed like they was doing it to get the change and to express their disapproval, and I don't know,
Well, I know they wasn't doing it to get disapproval. They was doing it so they could get their money
get
right.
their money. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they
it's-
wanted to
so
be
so it
paid,
wasn't so it wasn't
compensated properly. And
which was
and and that's why I think it correlates because I'm gonna I'm looking at it like to engage in a concerted refusal to have dealings with a person, a store, an organization, etc. They don't list a business, but
to express disapproval or to force acceptance of certain conditions.
right, and they
And certain
force the
conditions
acceptance of certain conditions.
and that's the money, right?
And they expressed disapproval with their pay that they were receiving,
Yeah.
and they said we want new money, so they forced acceptance, or the force was, or we won't move a thing on the docks will stay, you know quiet, and there won't be nothing moving on the docks, or give us our money. And they got that money. They worked out a deal.
It's crazy, God. I'm looking at the definition of boycott, and towards the middle, it got a "Did you know" section, and they talk about two boycotts. They talk about something going on in the 1840s and the Montgomery boycott, the civil rights movement. That leads me to believe there's only been two boycotts in this country.
Well, I mean, if that's how they're defining it as, then That would be the two most famous ones. That
Companies that were
yeah,
polluted. No, we boycotted companies that polluted the
yeah,
environment.
yeah. I would definitely say that those are the most two famous, probably that they're giving as an example on this website. I'm sure we could go to another website and they'll give us more examples. But we're not looking for boycotts. What we looking for is is understanding the word,
Yeah.
more so in how it applies in socially today, and you know, is it bad, good, or misunderstood? So like defining definition and then defining cases of boycott, how they apply, like we only gonna go off what they apply to,
Yeah.
but if we can read the definition and we say usually to express disapproval or to force acceptance of certain conditions, then that longshoreman strike embodies those words specifically. So, and they refuse to have dealings with that entity. So they boycotted. And successfully they were rewarded. So there may have been a lot of boycotts, but none of them actually
We're successful.
was successful.
Yeah.
And that's what we may be dealing with, because that's why we don't hear about a lot of them, because it's just like, oh, they had a protest. It was a boycott. It didn't last long. It didn't get any legs underneath it. It wasn't, like you said, promoted where people could actually see, like, who is this? We see an email, we see a text message with somebody's name on it, but we don't know if it's the Action Network. We don't know if it's Al Sharpton. We could assume that all day. Maybe it did. Maybe it did come from his consortium. Maybe it didn't. But the text message is bad, period. That's where I'm at with it. I get the idea of unity, but I mean, we want a reward. I need a reward at the end of the work.
What do you think about this, guy? So,
Even if it is making the customer happy, okay, I still need a reward at the end of my work, of my participation. So it don't have to be beneficial to me. It can be beneficial to someone else, but I need to know what it is. Because I can't just have somebody just having me doing anything and I'm thinking it's for this and I'm in my la land because I'm thinking it's for this, but really it ain't that.
could speaking on the longshoreman, so I'm trying to put in my mind that the rationale between a strike and a boycott in my mind, right? And I'm thinking, could that boycott of the longshoremen, whatever, could have worked had the longshoremen themselves not have gone to work, right? Like, if people stopped ordering stuff and there was nothing on the ships, right? Is that even possible, right? Like, so that's what I'm thinking. Like, a strike, are those people directly in that organization, like they are the only ones that could have spoke up for themselves, right? Like, I don't think that their families could have protest. I guess they could have protested, but there was no way for them to boycott to be effective. Only the employees were able to boycott, and I think maybe that might be why it was called a strike, because it's employees, and only they can affect it.
That's possible. That's possible because it was limited to the employees. Strike is listed as a tool for, well, let's see the verb. They got a couple of them. Strike is to take a course, to aim,
What?
and usually deliver a blow, stroke, or thrust with a hand, a weapon, or tool to arrive at a detrimental effect, to arrive with detrimental effect, to attempt to undermine or harm something, as if by a blow. What we got? To come in contact with forcefully, to delete something, to lower a flag, usually in surrender, to become indicated by a clock bell or chime, to make known the time by sounding, to pierce, to penetrate, to engage in battle, a military attack, to become ignited, to discover something, to pull on a fishing rod in order to set the hook. Gotta strike the hook. Dart, shoot, to take root, to germinate, to make an impression, to stop work in order to enforce an employer to comply with demands.
What is that number 50?
15.
You've had a lot of things before that. God damn.
To stop work in order to force an employer to comply with demands. So that may be why they don't list striking as a
Boycott thing.
Boycott. However, to stop work in order to force an employer to comply with demands is the same thing as boycotting.
Yeah. But I think,
but like you said, because it's limited to employees,
that's what I think.
You know, then they didn't use that word. So that's good to know, you know, like they're not going to call it what it's not. They want to make a point. And typically in labor disputes, you hear the word strike.
Yeah.
You know, but I also have heard employees boycotting something before. I've also heard that used before. Or maybe it was just people. Maybe it was just people. Yeah, but that's the definition that they give for strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the definition they give for strike.
Sound like a boycott, but it ain't the same.
I don't know. You get the same result. You get a result in the end.
So I would say no, because boycotts have been proven to not be successful, except for except for the civil rights one, and the one back in 1840 that they.
But we're not going to compare all strikes to just one strike, though.
No, but I'm saying strikes work. I'm saying strikes when
only if you employee, right? And they don't always work. Some people don't give. The military can't strike.
They cannot.
So strikes don't work.
They cannot.
I mean, that's not an infinite. That's not a definite. We already know boycotts don't work. Unfortunately, you know, we already described that, but you know, well, let me say this, we already have witnessed that. So, and that is why the confidence is so low in a boycott, because they haven't been effective. And the confidence isn't to stop. The confidence is to make them effective.
Make them effective.
Yeah, that's the result of the lack of confidence is not to quit. It's to say, hey, let's make them effective. You know, like one defining what the goal is.
And it can't be to prove to them or to show them. Like
it can't be. That's all. That's all. We'll show you.
Yeah, man. Men don't move like that.
That don't even sound like a positive ending.
It sounds like we just going into fight, but not fight. We just gonna bump chests until one of us get bruised enough to be like, oh, you hit me? Oh, you hit me?
Oh no, but like if you come with some action, like I'll show you, because this is gonna happen. Then you see what I'm saying? Now I'll show you, and this is gonna happen. Now if you want me to show you that that's gonna happen, then go ahead. If you don't want me to show you that's gonna happen, then we need to have some type of resolve. If you don't want that to happen, but that is because there is a consequence. even if what's going to happen is good. But it needs to be communicated though, not just, we're going to show you guys, don't spend no money. And most people probably like, man, I ain't had no money to spend anyway.
I don't get paid.
you know, you know, like why they make it a day when everybody check it? Why they make it a day when everybody? Why they make it a weekend when everybody check it? Why they ain't make it on, February 15th?
And they did it with no prep, right? Like so this is my issue, right? They talk about the civil rights movement, and the thing about the civil rights movement is all of those people, at least from what they show us, right? Those people they practice boycotting, they practice protesting, like they practice everything that they were going to do so that everybody that did it with them did it the way that they wanted them to do it. There were no outliers. There was nobody that was doing their own thing. There was no knuckleheads among them, right? Everybody was out there checking each other to make sure that everybody was following the plan. Whether you agree with the plan or don't, that don't matter, right? But they practice. With this, they sent the email out or a flyer out on social media like 2 days before, talking about don't do this on Friday. That's not like where's the organization? Where's the community meeting? Where's the video attached to the flyer that explains in detail who why we doing this thing and who we trying to affect, the impact? Like where's that at? Right? The civil rights movement was organized. Like, don't compare, like, don't say you a clean glass if you're not a clean glass. You muted, God.
Don't say you a clean glass if you ain't a clean glass.
That's it.
Admit you got some spot. Admit you got some dirt on your shoulder. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Get that dirt off your shoulder for real.
Or at least attempt to go to the same length as our ancestors did, right? Again, they were organized. They held classes on dealing with society, the hells of North America, right? Like they it was super organized. It was not something that was thrown together last minute willy nilly. Like these people practice going to jail, right? Like
Yeah.
they practice their conduct of how to get arrested and what they was gonna do and how they supposed to act when they get arrested. Like they practiced all of this stuff so that when it happened, they executed the way that they practiced so that the plan would succeed.
Yeah.
Today, we don't really know who is organizing these things. It could be our enemy organizing organizing these things, putting it could all be AI generated these days. You
Come
know what I
on.
mean?
Somebody got to pay for it.
Somebody got to pay for it, right? Come on, man. Like, again, if there's no conversations, if there's no organization, if there's no local groups, I ain't even saying they got to be one group. It could be a bunch of local groups that's rally behind the same thing, right? But it got to be some kind of organization. Like this willy nilly last minute, let's throw it out there and see who gravitate to it. Maybe one of the 14% will do it.
It's a Gallup poll. That's
You
what I
know,
say. It was a Gallup poll. I
that's
wasn't
it.
trying to be conspiratorial, but I'm just like, this seems Gallup Polish, you know? Like it's vague, and somebody probably, what do you mean it's vague? Like that's descriptive and blah blah. No, it's not. No, it's not. What's the goal?
I didn't see no goal.
What's the goal? Other than we gonna show them that we are powerful economically. Like, I'm like, it sounds like whoever said that is not financially literate because they would have weighed, we do not have we would not make the African American community would not, all Black people would not make an impact as severe as a day when nobody's shopping. So what are you competing against?
Got whole holidays when all the stores are closed.
You got whole holidays when they don't have to pay nobody and nobody shopping. And then they still got people they got to pay. So even on them days when they got salary employees that they still got to pay, that's the only loss they taking. And they still done made that probably days be private because people be spending before they know the store gonna close. So,
It's like loading up right before you about to go on a diet. Like you eat as much crap as you want the night before, and then like, all right, tomorrow I'm going on a diet.
Hurricane. You know, name it, God. Going on a diet, hurricane, anytime you just stocking up because a storm is coming or something. It could be a snowstorm. It could be, you know, you're a bulk shopper, you know, anything, but not, we're going to show them. And you know what I'm saying? You don't show us the goal. What's the goal?
Show us first.
Yeah. Like show us the reward. Like, not just come follow me, come follow, just do. Don't ask no questions. Don't think for yourself. Don't, you know, read thoroughly what you're being asked to do. Don't even see how it affects you, how it wouldn't affect you. There is no reward to examine. So you don't even know, like, really what, you know, like, what am I really doing? And then once again, if I'm going to give it all on Thursday and then Friday, I'm sitting at home waiting for the clock to strike midnight just so I can get up and go to the store on Saturday and give it to them.
Nope. Now get up on Saturday. You want to be able to push the button online to push your Amazon
at midnight. Yeah. So I can do my Walmart, I can do my Amazon online, I can do all that at 12:01. Okay, 12:01. I ain't spend none today, but then I just dropped the ban on them at 12:01. They got it back.
They got it back. All you've proved is if they wait a day, you'll give it back to them.
That's it. And you got the discipline to not spend your own money for a day. So maybe psychologically, that's what they showing people. Hey, you have the ability to save. Is this a spend? Can we spend it? Can we find a benefit in it? Maybe.
I'll take it.
Maybe it came out. They wanted everybody to boycott these businesses through this text message. So you could prove to yourself that you have the ability to save your money.
Which I'm not mad at if that was what it said on the flyer.
Because if you could wait a day to not spend it because of this, and there's no reward, then imagine how many days you save for yourself and then invest the money, or, you know, whatever you do with the savings, that's going to be beneficial for you.
Correct.
But they ain't kick it like that. They ain't put it out there like that. You know, so we're not going to give them all that. We're giving y'all too much. We're giving them too much credit. And they didn't consider us enough to say, hey, here's what we're going to get. Here's what we potentially want to get.
This is why you should do this. Yeah.
And I think that would have been more convincing. At least for me, that would have made me not just scroll over the shit. You know what I'm saying? And then have to have conversations with people that I'm talking to, and they like, you ain't get it. You need to. I'm like, oh man, you right. Yeah.
You ain't black if you don't vote for Joe Biden.
You know, I'm like, yeah, I guess. It's
crazy.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna see about it because I'm part of that. Thankful I can go to the store to get the shit that I need when I need a crew. So, you know, I need a little bit more incentivizing. You know, I need a little bit more of what do we gain? Because if it's just me sitting in the house not having the shit I need for a day, that's not gonna make me feel good. I don't get no I don't get no
Nothing.
yeah. Like I don't get any reward from that. Like, especially if you can't see how I help. Now, if me sitting in the house not spend no money help somebody else, i.e. help my people, i.e. help my neighbor, i.e. help my family, i.e. help me gain, me benefit, i.e. help whatever I got going on that's positive in my life. Okay, helping us gain, yeah, like that's a no-brainer. But you don't just send it, you don't just send something out and be playing toying with people's emotions. But I guess this is right on par with like what we've seen through the election and everything too.
Toying with people emotions. Yep.
You know, but they didn't say boycott the election.
Nope.
They didn't say boycott the election because if we don't get some demands met, you know, all that Tupac and P. Diddy language, and they was echoing that we was hearing from Brother Martin before he got assassinated and Brother Malcolm before they got assassinated. You know, so like we not hearing that. We hearing don't shop at Amazon. You crazy, man? I'm going to Amazon. I got products on Amazon. What do you mean, ton of month? We got shop with each other. So on that day, I'm not even supposed to go shop black on Amazon. See, that could have been only shop black on Amazon. February 28th is a buy black day.
Only shop black wherever it's at.
Wherever you can find somebody that look like you, spend some money with them.
But caveat, make sure that it's black owned, right? Because what my thought process is, like, I'm gonna just pick on Target real quick. Just because you see something that looks black in a store like Target does not mean that the owner is actually black owned. Like white people have caught on that if you put a black face on it, black people will buy it. Right. So
We're not talking, but okay.
I'm
You think we
talking.
got to explain that to people for real?
Yes.
Wow. Because I mean, like like you wouldn't go in the store and buy 15 boxes of Aunt Jemima and say I shop black today, right?
Somebody would though. Like
Would you go in the store and buy some Uncle Nearest and be like, I shop black today?
you did not.
You know, like, so you can't go get a drink, you can't go get some hotcakes. That ain't gonna do it.
That's not gonna do it.
Okay. So
like, and I think I mean, you wouldn't think that it needs to be explained, right? Because and I say that because with all this Target stuff, they showed some stuff on the news where there was products, quote unquote black owned products that had the Booker T. Washington's face, but had Martin Luther King's name underneath it, kind of thing. Like they was it could have been looked at as misprintings and stuff like that, but to me, for me, that would be the works of somebody who doesn't care about the culture, doesn't care about us at all. That will make a careless mistake like that and publish that and put it out there on the shelves, right? If it's so hard to get on the shelves of Target, I would imagine that products will go through great scrutiny to make it onto the shelves of Target. So to if it's an educational book to match a face with a name, when I see mismatched names and faces, that suggests to me that they playing in our face and they're using our images and our likenesses to trick us into quote unquote buying something that looks black.
it's possible that there's some of that going on, but they do sell shea butter at Target too, though, God. So
They do.
You know what I mean? So I don't know how strict the process is to get in Target if they sell shea butter in there.
I don't know either. I just know what the lady said.
It might not be that difficult to get in Target because they got shea butter in there.
I
You
don't
know,
know.
so I mean, they probably got some books that's doing that. What you talking about? They doing too, but so I get it though. Like, but that's something that's been done for years. That's a continual thing. But that's where I'm saying, like, why don't we take those things too and do it? Nobody has a problem with when you exemplify ignorance, right? They want to talk ignorant to you. Nobody has a problem being uncomfortable and saying, oh, why do you speak so well, or like you white, or this or that and the third, right? So nobody has a problem insulting anybody.
That's true.
Okay, so why don't people have a problem with these things that continually be the same, but then do nothing to change them? Because I think people cool with it.
Yeah.
And since we all choosing, just like you could say, I don't shop at Target. Okay, so that's your boycott right there. I don't shop at Target. Somebody might be like, I don't shop at Walmart. I know people who shop at Target and won't go to Walmart. But is it a boycott? It
Or the
seems,
preference.
or a preference.
That seems preference.
So I see those subtle things, but I don't see Target having to close its doors because of people, or Walmart having to close its doors because people prefer Target.
Correct.
I say own both. Boycott ignorance. If you spend your money there and you can buy it in the stock market, own it. So now not only are you spending your money there, but you also are paying yourself to buy products from somebody who supplies them to you. It's not rocket science, but ain't nobody teaching it because people be scared to invest money. People be scared to fail. People be scared to say they don't know something. People be scared to learn something and improve. All you're going to do is make money. The economy just always, it corrects, but it always goes up. Since the start of money, it just goes up. It's a debt-based system. We got to keep borrowing money. We got to create money. I don't care what they say at Doge about cutting budget. Yes, balancing a budget is good. Yes, you do. But they want to balance it so they can grow it again. So what that means is they want to cut some things so they can add more to it.
Correct.
So when they do the cuts, if you make sure that you stay away from the cuts, if you can, depending on what that look like, because these Doge cuts is everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you try to position yourself and understand it from that boycott the dumb shit and all of the distractions, all of the boycotts, okay, and say, you know what, I'm gonna try to position myself to win through this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you try. That's it.
That's all you got, bro.
You try. That's it. Like, and I'm not gonna sit up here and say you're gonna win or you're none of that shit. I'm just saying you pay attention to what's going on and you try to position yourself like it's ongoing. This life is ongoing.
It's fluid. That's all you got is a try. You ain't got nothing else, right? Like if
That's
you don't try, you ain't got nothing.
You fail.
That's it.
You fail. Now, if you don't know, okay, then fair enough. You can't try because you don't know no better. But if you know better, man, please do better for yourself. Boycott not doing better for yourself. Go on self-strike. If you need to. Tell yourself, I don't like what I'm doing. I need to get myself paid more. Okay. I don't like these terms and conditions of how I'm treating myself. I need to treat myself better, whether it's eating, sleeping, drinking, exercising, whatever it is, living in totality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not supporting enough of my own interests. You know what I'm saying? Boycott, not supporting your own interests. For real. Like, man, it ain't rocket science, but it seemed like it is, though, for so many, because it just looks so unfamiliar to people. I don't know. I think it's just going back to the public education school system. We need to boycott that for real, for real.
Need to overhaul that, right? Like we need
Yeah, yeah. Like that's
like
just
like
access to overhaul.
like real talk, God. As much as I talk about the school system, I don't think it needs to be done away with. It just needs a major overhaul, right? Like it needs to put caring back into it, right? Like we gotta care about our future. We gotta care about how our children turn out. Like every time I see those stats about when they talk about where our children rank around the world as far as education, I'm saying like you telling us this for a reason, right? You either want us to get a higher grade or you showing us that we dummies, right? And to me, I'm assuming you want us to get a higher grade. You want us to see who's quote unquote better than us, and you want us to achieve higher and greater. You want to ensure that the children will be smart enough to be leaders when they grow up, right? And they can only be leaders if they are educated properly, right? That's what I assume. But it seemed like these stats come out and then nothing gets done to better educate the children. We went through a whole mindset of teaching for the test, right? Like we just gonna teach you enough to pass the test, right? We're gonna teach you what's on the test. We're gonna teach you how to answer these questions on the test. And on some levels, that sound like that's all you need. But if you don't understand how and why, if how and why aren't even important questions anymore, and we just supposed to just do, I don't know what the future holds. It's all scary to me. So yeah, I definitely don't think we need to do away with the education system, but it definitely needs to go the hell away and come back anew. You know what I'm saying?
It does need to come back anew, for real. That's for sure.
Come back useful.
Yeah, come back useful. They need to revamp it, refurbish it, upgrade it, do something
Do something.
because it's not producing the productive members of society. One thing you said, like the education, um, you don't need an education to lead.
That's true. But people think that you do. That's why I
Yeah,
said it. That's why I said
yeah,
it because people think that you do.
yeah. You don't need an education to lead. We see that a lot of times where people have these degrees and things like that and all this stuff that everybody admonishes. And we do. We, you know what I'm saying? We support when our people
Yeah,
go and become professionals and do things like we love that stuff. So it's not no slight to nobody with a degree. And that's the difference between I think intellectuals and a conscious mind. A conscious mind doesn't put down the fact that you have a degree. A lot of times the intellectual educated person puts down the fact that you don't have a degree,
correct.
you know. So that's the divide that we have socially. But my comment that you don't have to be you don't have to have an education to lead is because in the communities in the urban it's young brothers who run the whole gang and can't even read,
Can't even read. 100% facts.
you know. So so like, and I mean, and although they're leading into
A brick wall.
prison or
Yeah.
coffin, you know what I mean? Like that still is leadership. Like if that could get harnessed, if it was some way to harness all of that, desire to slide and do all this other stuff, and if it was some way to harness that, if you could channel that somewhere, like that'd be dangerous. Like this young
Yeah.
generation to be
It
crazy.
wouldn't it wouldn't be dangerous, it would be effective.
Yeah, I'm talking about dangerously good. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I'm talking about dangerously good. I'm using, we supposed to be using good words on here. You know, I'm speaking slang, y'all. Dangerous, like that would be hot. That would be hot. But it will be effective.
it would be.
Yeah, and it will be beneficial to everybody, not just to the Black community, but to American culture in totality, to the nation. So that's one thing that I don't get from socioeconomic classism. I don't understand why it has to be that way so much. Like, I understand why it has to be that way based on our economic system, but I don't understand why that has to be the model. Like, why we have to have a poor class, why we have to have, like, it's enough here if you teaching the things, if you planting it, if literally planting the right seeds, then everybody, like, it could be a utopia. I'm not saying that BS still won't exist, because humans still gonna be humans, but
it won't be the norm. It won't be.
That'll be the new norm. The new norm
Yeah.
will be where you are, where you have some morals, you have a moral compass, you have some values, you have respect for others, and and consideration, and we work and we live in harmony together, where it's like everybody's beneficial. Not y'all some pieces of shit, y'all some pieces of shit, y'all need to go back to Africa, but we ain't gonna do nothing to send y'all. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do no action. We ain't gonna put nothing together, no plan, no bus. We're not even gonna give you a bus to drive back over there.
We not even gonna teach you the language before you go.
Not gonna teach you the language. We're not even gonna teach you no other language but the language here. Matter of fact, in the school system, that was another thing. They made languages where you have to take it. They don't make it where it's mandatory, where you have to learn it.
You just got to take it.
You just got to take it. Now, how beneficial is that for international business?
Yeah.
But we don't want all of you going to go do international business. Because then if you go do international business, then what'll happen is you'll be a person like myself or like yourself who got to go around the world. And that's the reason why we have these ideas, opinions about things, and we don't let ourselves. If you see us looking like a bum, it's because that's how we want to look. If you see me looking like a bum, that's because that's how I'm choosing to look. That's not because that's how I have to be. But that's because when you go around the world and you see things and you get exposure and you learn to value where you are, because you see your complexion and you see other people in complexions that's the same as yours, and you realize my inception could have been here. If that's what the universe wanted, or whoever your maker is. You could have been born over there, but you were born here. And some people be like, oh, that's bad, it's a privilege or whatever, but ain't nobody boycotting it. We still talking about how bad it is, but we still giving them more ammunition. Well, we got to make more people. Let me bring somebody else into this bad shit. So I'm saying it ain't that bad. So I'm saying we shouldn't be complaining this much, and we should be working together trying to find solutions. That's what it's about. For us, though, if it's just us, if we saying all this stuff ain't worked before, these boycotts ain't worked, these protests ain't worked, well, they stop working. We're not saying they didn't work before. That's like, and this is why I had a problem with the hope shit, because it seems like that's all it is. It's holding on to some shit that you're never gonna get. Because we just said it. We just said we seen it work. But in our lifetime, we have not seen it repeat. So I'm gonna keep hoping that some shit that ain't work no more gonna work. To each their own. I can't hope for that. I can hope for people working together and seeing that that is how you get there. That's how you get there. It ain't gonna, it may not be for everybody, but it'll be for your group, for your team, for your village. You know, and everybody, and if it don't happen, then just gotta take it up with God. Like people be acting like they scared to be like God don't want things to be like they is on earth. Well,
Yo, so I was while you was talking, I was just thinking, and when you was like, not, we haven't seen it in our lifetime, and I was just thinking about my parents' lifetime, and they grew up in it, and they don't have any faith, really, right? So if my dad was born in '58, you talking, he was like 10 years old doing that whole civil rights thing, right? Like '68. Um, so to me, that would be 10 years of of a unity building conversation environment. It's like that would be the foundation of this is why we got to work together and stuff like that. And he would carry that on forward and to me and to my brothers, and we would carry that forward. But it seemed like the children of the civil rights movement that were children during the civil rights movement did not take away any of the benefits or didn't see it working as well as they. I don't know. I feel like there's enough people still alive that we should have enough guidance and enough OGs to tell us to show us how to do it the right way. And I don't feel like we're getting that. I feel like we get a bunch of new jacks that's trying to use the old vibes and the old feelings to rekindle something. But I'm like, but the people are still here. Why can't they just tell us how to do it? And better yet, why did they stop doing it? Right? Where did the break in unity come from? Why did they stop? Why is it so hard? Like
they
if
got tired, God. They got tired.
that's what it is.
They're tired. They old. When you get old, man, you get less fight. Think about how many old people, they don't be trying to
No,
argue and all that shit. They don't be
yeah,
trying to,
yeah. I know.
you
I ain't
know.
talking about that. I ain't talking about them actively. I'm talking about them educating and instilling that into their children is what I'm saying. Like I didn't grow up in an environment where a bunch of people was on some old boycott protest, unity in the community type stuff. I didn't see that. I saw a bunch of people taking advantage of everybody else, everybody getting in where they fit in,
Mm-hmm.
and you know. So I hear that they got I know they tie it now today, but was they tired when they was 30 and 40?
Nah, they was trying to live. They was trying to do the stuff that their parents ain't do. You know, that's what they was doing. They was trying to figure it out. They was in the 70s, we had a recession. How many people economically knew about, how many people was financially literate enough to know about the recession that was going on in the 70s?
Right.
You know, in those communities, especially being plagued with heroin, all the other little COINTEL stuff going on, and then crack just came right in after that. So it was like, damn, the heroin, and then the crack smack, boom, and then come on. So that was the 70s and the 80s. So when you look at all of that through that confusion, through trying to, when you look at the privileges that we've been afforded to be away from where we grew up at, to not get distracted, to not have those little things, those little nuances that you may have not strayed from, that I may not have not strayed from had I not got out of that environment. Sometimes even moving, you got to get out of an environment that's even like the same environment that you're coming from. If I move from one hood to the next hood, I'm just in the hood. Like once
you're still in the hood.
You know?
Yeah.
And when you're not aware of the economic consequences of that, you put yourself right back in the same situation. And when we look at like, okay, I knew somebody who moved somewhere, and when they moved into the place, they were like, why is it so ghetto around here? Because they thought that where they were, because of the location of where they were, that it wasn't nothing ghetto there. So I said to them, I said, how much do you pay for rent? And when they told me how much they pay for rent, I said, well, now you understand what the ghetto is about. Because or what the hood is. Okay. I said, because some people might say, nah, in the ghetto, they on food stamps. In the hood, they on food stamps in the hood and in the ghetto, family. Yep. And in nice neighborhoods. People trying to work the system in any way they can, fam.
Every way that they can.
You know. So when you have no knowledge of the finance of the economy, no economic wherewithal at all, like no financial wherewithal at all, you'll put yourself in a place and just not know it and be like, dag, I'm thinking I'm being affordable, I'm accommodating my budget, but then like you realize your budget is hood. You know, and then you look at where you want to live at and you like, dag, I don't have enough money to make that. Then you got to make a difference. You got to do something, because where you at, you see everybody else where you at, you see the frequency that they functioning on. Everybody's on scrap mode. Everybody on survival mode, scraping and scratching, you know? So that comes with like, you don't have to, that's not a look of people anymore. That's not like you moving. And that's when you know people ain't like been nowhere or did shit, when they say, well, people don't nobody look like they ghetto. Don't nobody look like they hood. Well, what you seen on the TV show or something, bro? Like what you know, like where you getting this? You know, you sound like somebody that ain't never been around the hood. They ain't never been in, you know, nothing. Like you from way out west somewhere, like from Iowa. You know, not even I can't even do that. Shout out to Iowa, because I forgot. And Waterloo, it's a whole bunch of good folks up there. In places like that. But like, what is that? Not Iowa. Idaho. That's Idaho. Idaho. Way out west. The other one, state. But yeah, like, you know, people should be aware of those things. And you run into them things. That's another thing that we run into by not getting taught properly, by not having the proper information before we go and place ourselves in situations. So that's why I'm like, having that exposure, we was able to see that. You know, back in the day, I lived in plenty of places that people from work was like, why do you live around here? Why do you live around here? Like, you live where? Yeah, I stay over there in Newport News. What? Bad news? Why you live over there?
Bad news, Newport News.
I'm like, it's cheap.
Hell yeah.
You know, but did I have somebody shooting outside? Yeah. And did I move like 2 weeks later? Yeah. You know, they weren't shooting at me, but they were shooting in the community. You know, but it didn't look like the hood. But I knew it was the hood because the rent was only $600. You know. So if you paying $600 and you can afford to pay, you know, whatever the bar was, then it was way more than that. I was banking, you know, but if you only paying $600, man, then you know everybody else around there they can only afford to pay that. That's your community.
That is your community.
Man, we've been talking about the word boycott tonight, y'all. And we're gonna go ahead and get to this third question. Is it legal to boycott? Is it legal to boycott?
I'm going to say yes. They nobody can stop you from shopping somewhere, or stop you from going to the movies, or stop you from patronizing something. They can't stop you from doing that. Which is why I brought up the word strike, because I think they can. I remember with the longshoremen, I want to say judges got involved with that whole strike thing, and if it was going to be allowed or not. And I thought that was kind of strange, because if I'm striking, how you going to tell me I can't? And can't have legal.
Yeah, that's crazy. For some, if you striking, I don't know how somebody would tell you that you couldn't strike. I mean, that you couldn't boycott. But maybe there is something. So what we're gonna look up is, I just did a Google search. What are the legal implications of boycotting? And here we have it is giving us an AI overview. All right. And we have here that boycotts can have legal implications depending on the circumstances, including First Amendment protections, anti-boycott laws, and labor laws. First Amendment protections. The Supreme Court has ruled that politically motivated boycotts are protected by the First Amendment. Courts consider whether boycotts' goal is political reform or economic. If the boycott is an attempt to influence political reform, it will likely be considered protected.
But economic will not be protected, because that's going to affect the bottom line of America. And they saying, hell no, y'all can't do that.
Because to shut down commerce, is active terrorism.
Active terrorism. Fact.
That's the reason why truck drivers can't unionize.
Correct. So as long as you stick to political reform, and I should say the courts decide.
Right. The courts consider whether the boycott goal is political reform or economic. And that's why it's dangerous for text messages like that to be sent out, because look at this. It says the courts consider whether the goal is political reform or economic. Now it gave us what are we doing? We just gonna show them. And then didn't it say bottom line? It said that let me actually go back to it right quick. It says what it says about their bottom line. Do not spend money on food. That's one right there. That's economic. This is what about their bottom line or something? I seen something about their bottom line.
Show them and prove to them. Something like that. It was in the show them and prove to them section.
It was the show and prove section. Right. Oh, why this matters. Corporations and banks only care about their bottom line. Okay. So that means we going after them. So not we ain't doing shit. That means that text message would have implicated to go after economic, because it didn't define a goal.
Which means you're not protected.
So was it a setup?
Sound like a setup.
because people don't take the time to go do this to find out what they're getting involved in. It's just they get caught up on, we gonna show them. Who really hold, for one day, we're gonna show them who really holds the power. But we want to do an economic boycott. Now, I wanted to go over here to how to sanction a boycott. So, to sanction a boycott means to officially support or endorse a boycott, typically by a government or organization, which involves publicly declaring their stance against a target company or entity and urging others to participate by refusing to do business with them, often due to ethical concerns regarding the target practices. Now, what did the guy Ali Dawu El at BK Soul Farm say earlier when we were talking? You said that I didn't hear or see Al Sharpton drop a video or standing up in front of his banner, his brand, his National Action Network, which would be an organization, and publicly declaring their stance against a target company or entity and urging others to participate it publicly. Now, you could send out a text message. Maybe they say, okay, well, you sent out a text message to the masses, and that's public. But according to this, though, the legal implications, boycotts that are not, the goal is not political reform, are illegal.
Only political boycotts are illegal.
Are legal.
Only.
Political. Only boycotts for political reform are legal. Anything economic,
illegal.
Illegal. Okay. Now, this is what they give us. All right. But it says here, but this is what we have to really focus on right here. Okay. Is that the courts consider whether the boycott's goal is political reform or economic. So what I would stress to our viewers, and even learning for myself, understanding what this means in its entirety, is that you can try to boycott something for an economic purpose, but you don't know how the court going to look at it.
And you might get sued by the company that you boycotting and get forced to pay back that money that they say, man.
Okay.
That's crazy, bro.
So
can you imagine getting sued by McDonald's trying after boycott?
I can't imagine it, because I'm a pay attention. I've been jumped off the porch, but I ain't just go jump in anybody line, anybody lineup. So, we've been making sure that what's that gospel song? Order my steps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been making sure our steps been in order. And courts considering whether the boycott's goal is political or economic is dangerous, because you're just jumping out there not knowing what's actually going on, not knowing because a goal, the boycott's goal was not defined.
Yo, when do the courts get to consider that? Is that during the boycott or after the boycott?
I'm not sure, family, but I will take some case law, right? I'll pull this up right here from First Amendment .mtsu.edu. This is from this is the article from the Free Speech Center at Middle Tennessee State University, and I'll put this link into the actual description, y'all, if y'all want to go check this out. And we have a case where in the NAACP versus Claiborne Hardware Company in 1982, the Supreme Court ruled that an economic boycott constitutes a form of constitutionally protected expression akin to the traditional means of communication, such as speaking and writing, even if violence is threatened as a means of achieving group goals. The controversy arose as a result of a boycott imposed by African Americans against white merchants, including those at Claiborne Hardware in Claiborne County, Mississippi. The NAACP, under the leadership of Charles Evers, its field secretary, organized the boycott and allegedly threatened violence against those who broke the boycott. See, he didn't threaten the white people. He threatened those who broke the boycott.
Correct.
All right. This photo shows a mural commemorating the 1966 economic boycott led by the local chapter of the NAACP of majority white businesses in Port Gibson and Claiborne County. So that was a case right there in 82.
Yeah.
Where the legal implication of it
that's tricky.
Was deemed to be justifiable, even though it was under economics for economic purposes by the Supreme Court.
But it does say that the courts do consider whether it will be, right, like they decide if it's going to be protected or not. And it says, the next sentence says that it's likely to be considered protected, which will make you assume that economic will automatically be rejected. But that's not the case, clearly.
That's not the case. That's why we went into that. Because there is a case law where, you know.
And it's recent.
You know, it's in this millennium.
Yeah. I mean, meaning it's in my lifetime, right? I was alive doing.
Yeah, we said, yeah. I'm younger than you, old head. Yeah. So definitely, you know, just something a little knowledge. You know, I knew we weren't going to have a lot really to discuss on this last question. You know, but I wanted to share that because I know we peeled so many layers back talking about the February 28th boycott. And just so people could know, because there wasn't any goal established, you know, and we didn't know I didn't know, you know, something wasn't right. It didn't smell right. And it wasn't seeing Reverend Al Sharpton's name. It wasn't that. It was just, this is a text message. The language in it isn't right. You know, like if you receive a message, it's all about that message coming through that line and it's right. So, you know, I couldn't interpret it. You know, I was just like, it's some things missing here. You know, and I appreciate the attempt at a collective effort, but we gotta do better. We have to do better. You know, we can't just be out here just boycotting stuff because the Black Lives Matter protest got everybody excited. And now, you know, nobody was really educated after that stuff. What happened with that? You know, just everybody knew the girl got rich. That's it.
She did get rich.
You know, and when you have a community that stays the same, but somebody got rich.
Call that flim flam.
You know, I call that dropping the album.
Mhm.
You know, I go like going triple platinum, you know,
Mhm.
going diamond or something, you know, like,
They call me Big Meech.
you know, you got paid, but
Got paid.
the community just spent their money, you know. So it would be like we was talking about earlier, akin to what you were talking about, draining the community. You know, I think that's even worse
Yep.
than the people selling the, you know, the overpriced soap bars of soap and toiletries and stuff like that. You
It
know,
is worse. Yeah.
so you know, tonight, y'all, we have been discussing the word boycott. What are the motivations of what are the motivations of boycott movements? We exchanged some great insights. We also discussed what are some advantages and disadvantages of a boycott. And our third question that we just got finished discussing was, is it legal to boycott? And we found out yes, but you have to know if it is for political reform. And we recommend that if you are going to participate in a boycott, the last one we seen that was effective was for political reform. So if we aren't trying to replicate that to get that type of result, because what we want is lasting change, lasting new implementations or reversals of old things, lasting, that is permanent. That, okay, this gonna be it. This gonna be the new standard. And if we're not getting that, then I can't play with you, because I could be doing something more productive because I ain't getting bothered over it. You know what I'm saying? So I could be focused on doing something, getting somewhere, like what I've been doing since I jumped off the porch. You know, some people, some I would say it's akin to pulling myself up by my own bootstraps. You
So
know,
so American of you.
you know. Hey, I'll never boycott myself. You know, you know. I won't even sit in my own back seat of my car. All right,
Oh my God, for real.
for real. All right, so tonight, y'all, that's what we've been discussing, the word boycott. Once again, we have come to that point in time where we ask that question. The guy Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm, is boycott bad, good, or misunderstood?
I have two answers. I'm gonna say first, the word is misunderstood by evidence of the text message that you read. Um, Everybody confused, right? But for me personally, I'm gonna say it's bad, right? Because like nobody's talking about the 1982 boycott that seemed to have been successful. Nobody even know about that. I didn't know about that till you read that, and and that was an economic boycott, and the court decided that it was legal,
Right,
right? To me, the court could have said, not so legal, and it would have been bad, right? So the fact that you want to express yourself in opposition of a thing to do something, and you need permission to do it, suggests to me that you're probably not going to get what you're looking for that way, right? So the way that boycott is used is not used logically, is used emotionally, which means it can't work emotionally. So I'm saying that it's bad, right? You still take me back again. You don't even take me to 1982. You take me back to you take me back to the 60s, right?
right,
You take me back to a person that was assassinated, right? and be like, yeah, we gotta go back to Martin Luther King days, but he was taken out before he was 30, right? Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's bad. It's bad. It's totally misunderstood because I want to say, right. See, I like I'm a hold on to hope still, right? And I hope that the people that put that text message together, if they were real people and not bots or AI, right, or Chat GPT, um, that they are wanting something to stir and spark inside of the individual person that's going to create the change and the incentive to not boycott themselves, right? To see value in themselves. But I don't think they're going about it the right way. Like they're going about it in a way that keeps us stuck in the mud and not going anywhere but down, right? Like we're running real fast in the quicksand and we just keep going further and further down and not even going left or right, just down. So I don't like it.
Well, I agree. So I'm not even going to I'm not going to even echo anything you said, God, like, because I'm just going to leave it right there. I agree 100%. It is definitely misunderstood, and it's bad. It's bad. It's not beneficial. So new strategy, any type of new strategy, you know, will probably be a lot more beneficial to replace a boycott. At least unless it's political, like we learned that this evening, you know, that like if you gonna get political reform, let that be the goal, but not just leaving it up for the courts to decide if you're right or wrong after you go through all that nonsense and you could get fined or penalized or whatever. Like that's a crash and burn. Like that's a dummy mission. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, imagine if Target put a class action lawsuit against Black America for boycott. That'd be funny.
How do you enforce that? Everybody who checks the box gets a bill. So Target is gonna work with the IRS there, or the Social Security office.
Nah, whoever.
And then what if you didn't? And then what if you ain't? And what if you ain't do nothing? Then you just get penalized. I guess that's how they send out stimulus checks, right? So
that's how they send out stimulus checks.
You get paid together, you get fined together. Oh man. Oh man. It's wild, man. This is wild. But another great conversation, God.
Yeah, definitely. I learned a lot. Like I had a different thought on boycott. Actually, the thought I had it still remains. We just not doing them right.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah,
like this, we definitely without getting the results that we've seen be effective. So it would be some cause to say, or some pause to say, we're not doing this the right way.
Yeah.
Because we can't just keep doing this and ending up with the same result and thinking, oh well, we had a successful get together. And it was so nice to get together and see everybody and talk and about nothing. Yeah. So, like we always say, we not the gurus. If you like something that we smoking on, pick it up, have a smoke. If not, just leave it in the ashtray for somebody else. We always trying to learn this stuff ourselves and be better and improve and self-improve and just be aware of the language that we use every single day to communicate. You know, that's what this is about. That's what Cigar Sundays Live is about, and having fun with it. And we thank everybody for pulling up this evening. Make sure to leave a comment. Make sure to like and share the video. Also subscribe to the channel, so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. And we will be back here next Sunday at 8 p.m. at our normal time. We'll be back at our normal time, y'all, next Sunday at 8 p.m. right here on Cigar Sundays Live. I am Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV. Always with the God, Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. And once again, we thank y'all. Make sure to have a peaceful, positive, and productive week. Until next time. Peace, God.
Peace, God. This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on a list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigarden Panel. Smoking on words like two big nerds. Hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.